Hi guys, I'm back. Glad to be feeling better. And I have to, full disclosure, I'm feeling a little weird. A little weird. You know, you get a big abscess infection in your tooth and it just can throw you for a loop. And then the meds can do the same thing. Antibiotics saved me, but I had an allergic reaction to the first type of antibiotic I was put on. So, you know, it's been a trip and I'm back and I'm glad to be here. And so is Rue. Oh, the humidifier's in the way. She'll work it out. So, I was thinking, I had written down, I found a scrap of paper that just said parting words. And another one that said healing takes on a new priority. And, you know, that's pretty applicable for me at the moment. But I think there are times in our lives when it just does. When it's snowing. When you might not even realize how badly you need just to take a break or to focus on healing. And I think to focus on healing is sometimes to initially locate the wound, and not in a probing sort of way, but just gently touch on it, gently touch on it. You know, and then go back to the breath or whatever it is. I don't think drilling into the hurt helps. Queen of Wands. The empowered feminine energy of attraction. Somebody who can, the vibes come to her, right? Ooh, and she can read them. She speaks that language. She can intimidate people. That's not she, he, they, whoever has that energy, because she can see, you know, some people don't like to be read or to have their, they feel very vulnerable if they feel like somebody is peeking under their skirt or reading their vibes. Healing takes on a new priority. Six of Cups, perhaps in a soulmate relationship. Can be a partner, a best friend, a family member sometimes. Somebody, and I think you feel like is in your sort of soul group. I think that we reincarnate with a core group of people and play different roles in different lifetimes. So we get a chance to try out this connection from all sorts of angles. In one lifetime, I might be your daughter. In the next lifetime, I might be your enemy, you know. We just keep switching roles, so the dynamic just evolves lifetime to lifetime. It's kind of a goofy idea, but it makes some sense to me. And just on that level of, you know, I recognize that as a truth. Well, Five of Pentacles. You know, the soulmate returning card. Returning to each other, somehow the cycle comes back around. But this is a card of abandonment, of lack. What does that mean for the Queen of Wands, please? Oh, this, by the way, is Star Tarot that I'm working with. Ten of Swords, under Queen of Wands. Tower under Six of Cups, and under Five of Pentacles, the Hermit. Also in Earth energy and Pentacles energy. And this I see as a card of Scorpio, water energy, right under the card of Six of Cups, water energy. Queen of Wands is experiencing some kind of, or has already crossed over some kind of painful ending. And it's interesting, Queen of Wands feeling abandoned, because that's an unusual state of mind, or, you know, usually very self-confident, very empowered. But I like it that we've got Five of Pentacles, Hermit, because this is like putting your solitude to use. You know, sometimes when we're stripped down, nobody else is around. A friend of mine who had just gotten divorced said suddenly being away from the spouse was so enlightening to her, because she said, I realized I'm the screw up, let's say. You know, she had always kind of blamed them, but once she was in a position of they weren't around anymore, she could recognize her own stuff. So maybe Queen of Wands is reevaluating her role in some soulmate relationship, and maybe how she didn't show up for somebody or didn't show up for herself. Painful cycle has ended. Is it this one? On Ten of Swords, we have Knight of Cups. Oh, somebody coming in with a love offer, perhaps having closed out a cycle. With maybe another soulmate. Because we have more than one. I really believe that, you know, in the course of our lifetime, and particularly if you buy into this idea of many lifetimes, many soulmates that we go around with, this is a card of the return, with that tinge of past life. Queen of Wands may be picking up on a vibe that perhaps in a previous lifetime, this happened. Pentacles energy. You know, for a long time in her life, she was by herself. Tell us about a Hermit, please. Five of Wands. Can be a card of protection, of working something out, and we very often get these two together, and it just blows my mind. This is mind-blowing. The volcano in both images. So there's this terrific upheaval in Cups energy on the level of emotion. Emotional explosion of a kind, something that can't be contained. And this one may have withdrawn in order to examine perhaps their role in the, I don't even know what to call this. But I think it's, remember I said something about this, using the time in solitude to the time, Pentacles energy, to gain an understanding of yourself. The 9 cards, 9 can speak to the self. And that somehow on the board, Hermit is turning away. Hermit is turning away from the dramatic, unexpected catastrophe. You know, something ended unexpectedly. It was a surprise. And this one, well, has something of the same idea, but these energetic kind of emanating to and from this person because they've closed out a cycle. There's a sense of protection. Hermit withdraws into the cave, and you can see this one is sort of inside a kind of magic circle of protection. It's in the energy of the Queen of Wands, who is very in touch with the magical, the mystical. On Queen of Wands, Four of Cups. Four of Cups can be disappointment, it can be waiting, it can be fantasy, but here it looks to me just like a meditative place. Holding still long enough to explore feelings. Four of Cups, Six of Cups. It does imply sort of like the love that isn't there in this instance, you know, in this phase of somebody's life. And maybe the soulmate returns, you know, almost to the scene of the crime. They left somebody out in the cold for a long, I mean, we get this all the time, for a long time. It's hermit energy, essentially. Ace of Swords, that's true. But in that isolation, again, that aces speak to the self. It's like, I know myself. I'm stripped down to the bare bones. Nobody's around. I can't blame anybody. I can't count on anybody. But it shows me myself. I don't think that sounds right, that somebody can't count on anybody. What does that mean in terms of Tower? Can't count on anybody. And this emotional, it could be a revelation based on somebody going off by themselves and getting to know themselves better. On Tower, Ten of Cups. Well, it could be like some I mean, this is a card of great happiness, connection, being surrounded by what you love and who you love. In Cups energy, and then Tower, Scorpio energy, a major transformation. We're suddenly not surrounded by the people we love, in a degree of isolation, where we can discover ourselves. On Six of Cups, please. Three of Cups. That's reunion, celebration, coming together. Really positive cards. A reunion with a soulmate who's coming back around. After a long period in isolation, and during this isolation you got to know yourself, or somebody did. You know, rather, Four of Cups can be a card of depression or, you know, inability to, numbness even. But I think, again, whoever this is used the time well to contemplate the whole idea of what is connection? What does that mean to me when I don't have the object of my affection? And I was thinking this morning, sometimes, it's kind of counterintuitive, but that trauma can be the doorway to this kind of energy. You survive it, and it's given you the power to tap into a kind of aspect of yourself that is powerful and independent. So tell us about this Knight of Cups coming in once the painful cycle is concluded. It can be a card of betrayal. And Five of Pentacles can be, whatever it is, somebody was left on their own. So it might have that tinge of betrayal. Cycles closing out. 10 of Swords, 10 of Cups, Tower. Tower is sort of like, unable to go backwards. There's been some kind of epiphany or revelation in a situation that was not stable. That's how come it could come down. And it's always a good thing because it releases you, it was something that was too small. So it might be that what's released after the too small thing comes down is this I'm not sure. Tell us about Knight of Cups, 10 of Cups, please. I always get so crowded. Knight of Cups, 10 of Cups. Princess of Cups. There's a lot of feelings here for sure. This can be an apology, an offer. An offer, somebody feels young, childlike. It can be naive love. But see how she's offering a cup that's for this person is enormous. Oops, sorry. Okay, we're having a little bit of a tower explosion here. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Pentacles. There's a choice involved. Maybe about how we're going to live our lives. There's a consideration. A weighing up of something. Princess of Cups, Knight of Wands. Fast forward movement. Passionate, to the point. That's the action that's good. I think somebody's going to apologize. It might be the Queen of Wands apologizing to somebody. But I think it's the response to her. Another 10 card. A new karmic cycle, a new turn of the wheel, a new conclusion to an old chapter and the beginning of the next, which has something to do with a choice somebody made. And it can be a choice to walk one's karmic path, to accept destiny, to move forward from a stuck place, which Knight of Wands could do it, move forward with great force. Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands. What's the relationship between Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands? It might be the Queen of Wands just sort of shaking off disappointment, Four of Cups, or getting an apology that Queen of Wands needed in order to move forward. It like unlocked the wheel. I'm getting the image almost like of a bicycle wheel. When there's a stick in the spokes and it can't turn. Somebody removed the stick. Oh yeah, Two of Pentacles. Seven of Wands. Another card of protection. I think somebody's focus is on boundary setting. Like they're willing to let, when the Tower goes, it's beyond anybody's control. You can't stuff it down anymore. The feelings won't be stuffed down. But you can anticipate it and prepare for this change. Fives indicate a need for change. And maybe be prepared to extract the lesson. Hermit energy is a card of the sage, of spiritual wisdom, of knowledge of the self. Knowledge of the self. Ace of Swords. Swords speak to knowing and understanding. Maybe somebody's understanding there was a kind of purpose in this Five of Pentacles. Being stripped down to the bones. Is it this? Magician. Card of Virgo and Gemini. Of manifestation. Ten of Wands. Boy, we've got all the, okay. Ten of Wands. King of Wands. We have the King and the Queen of Wands. That cheers me up. I don't know why. Because this, this may be coming to a close. Some kind of knowledge was actually gleaned from this time in apparent deprivation. Knowledge of the self. Aligning with truth and clarity. And I say it cheers me up. I mean, it just sort of does to see the match. But it's also, it bodes well for this Ten of Cups. Because these two match each other in power, in intuition, in yin-yang. I understand the inner world, and I understand the outer world. I'm an action taker. These two are a power couple, and they won't clash because they can't push each other around. They're a good match. So somehow in isolation has come spiritual knowledge and the ability to channel energies. As above, so below, to really focus and figure out what we're going to bring into the world, into the 3D world, make that choice, make that determination. It's a kind of prioritizing. But there's also a need for protection. I mean, fire energy is powerful. Give us one more. I mean, I see this circle of protection in Seven of Wands. kind of echoed by the circle in this Ten of Wands, the steering wheel. Like definitely moving forward, guided by spirit. There's something raw about it. Or hands-on. I mean, the bear is sort of has this person's back, so they know how to move forward. And the steering wheel reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune as well, which always moves us, advances us towards something better and you know, kind of bigger, as Tower does. Tower's too small, so it explodes, and we're kind of released to move forward, close out a cycle, and move on to something bigger, better, the new thing, the innovative thing. And I still don't quite get why the need for protection. Maybe from the Tower. Maybe somebody even manifested this Tower energy. Like they felt like they were constricted, or they were in too small a place, or they've been out in the cold so long. They see how this person is hunched over? It was a hard span of time. Things are really warming up now. Did somebody, perhaps this Virgo person, I don't know who that is, because I think, well, let's ask, who was left out in the cold, and what were the circumstances? Things are better now. Things are back on the karmic path. Emperor. In that fire energy, the Emperor has closed out a cycle and is moving forward. Empowered, strong, knowing what to do. Can you do it? Oh, Ro, I'm so sorry. She's got it. She's got it. Okay, bottom of the deck. Lovers. Knowing what to do. Emperor will take control. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys. I gotta let her in. That was a close call. Now she's kind of locked in. We're a mess this morning. Let's just fess up to that. But things seem to be getting straightened out. And, you know, to take control over, it's not really taking control, but it's stepping up to the plate somehow. Recognizing, having closed out a cycle, recognizing, you know, their match in a sense, their other half, their Queen of Wands. They might have been a little bit intimidated by her, you know, or reverse the gender roles. It doesn't really matter, but I think he was intimidated by her for a time. He might have felt shut out from a friendship or ability to reconnect after some time out in the cold. And I don't really see what happened that caused this rift. Parting words was what we started with. And I don't see a lot of communication here. I mean, we do have the Ten of Swords and the Ace of Swords, so that's a completed cycle. swords can speak to communication and understanding. So somebody may have closed out a cycle and learned how to talk because they know themselves now. They were stripped down to the bone. And in that sense of Ten of Wands, which I believe we had some, I've got so many cards here, laying the burden down. Is there a Ten of Wands? No, I don't think there is. But there is Ten of Swords, Ten of Cups. Lovers, they're saying look for the other six, and it's that soulmate card. I think somebody's coming back around. I think somebody recognized the relationship. You know, that to me, in my experience with this idea of people, a group going around together, often I feel like I recognize somebody, oh, it's you again, in a different role. But I've known you forever, and they don't know me back. It's like dead eyes. They don't recognize me. And that can really throw me for a loop. And I've learned, you know, in my adage here to be okay with that. But I think the King of Swords Emperor person suddenly jettisoned a whole lot of other concerns or responsibilities. I mean, Emperor is completely responsible, but I think there was an understanding that there was a need to enter a new cycle, to kind of shed a skin and step into their own power and match Queen of Wands, because she recognized, she knew, you know, she was like, don't you know me? And I think it forced her back inside to know herself. And she may have had to manifest a degree of protection around this whole relationship, because, you know, while somebody weighed it up, tried to make the choice, you know, can I do this in 3D? She had to, and it could be the he, but fall back on herself. Know herself in order to recognize the importance of the relationship to the other person. And I wish I could quote my friend directly, but it was a little bit spicy. But it was just the recognition of who she was when the other person was out of the equation. And he wasn't out, but he wasn't in the house. He wasn't in her immediate environment. She was left alone, in a sense. And over time, she was able to, you know, walk the personal path, self-discovery, wisdom, and it enabled, in this case, these two to meet up again in divine timing. There's great passion here. King and Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands, all this Wands energy. And it's almost like it was too hot to handle. Seven of Wands. But you know, there was, that's why it called for a kind of cooling off period. This is a destined partnership. I mean, you know, for whoever this resonates with, and it's, you know, this path, this karmic path, isn't easy. A lot of the time we're on the path by ourselves. but there is a meeting up here, a meeting of the minds, a meeting of the, you know, I see you, you see me. Okay, I feel like I'm still weak and wobbly, and maybe somebody else is too after a long time out in the cold. It can be hard to come back into relationship. You know, I'm out of practice, that kind of feeling. I've been dealing with other things. We have on the board Virgo, Gemini in the Magician, Aries in Emperor, Gemini again in Lovers, Virgo again in the Hermit, Wheel of Fortune, this karmic path, and all manner of tens here. You know, a big evolution in this relationship. Cycles being, you know, over lifetimes. Yeah. Okay, my friends. I'm regaining my strength. I hope you are too. And that idea of trauma making an uptick in intuition. I don't know how that works, but I think it does. It throws us back on ourselves. And it's not as if we don't have, I mean, in a certain way, love is all around us all the time. It doesn't always feel that way. And in 3D, it might not be that way. But truth be told, you're not alone. And I think things are going to heat up. Okay, my friends, I love you, and I'll see you next time.